Alright everyone, apparently Reddit has now begun banning Bitchute leaks, and also there was a third-party app on the Google Play Store for Bitchute that I didn't even know about. I guess it's not Bitslide. Bitslide is still fine. That just got kicked off actually by Google, under, I think it was their spam policy or something. And this is sort of a pattern, like over the last 3 or 4 months, Bitchute has been repeatedly defamed by the ADL, by various left-wing craptivistic firms, claiming that it's a site full of Nazis and stuff. Earth to everyone, yours truly has almost 105,000 subs there, and I'm way out ahead of everybody else. And I never knew that InfoWars was considered to be a Nazi group. It's often labeled being conspiratorial, fringe, but I don't think anyone seriously believes that Alex Jones is a white supremacist. And InfoWars, I think, just notched 90,000 subs and is in second place on the platform. If you look at a who's who of the largest accounts, relatively few of them have anything to do with nationalism of any variant. A lot of it's just libertarian, or it's the weird side of YouTube material, and you're starting to get non-political material on the site as well. Now, Reddit has begun blocking the links, apparently at the admin level. So the way that Reddit works, it's not like a good website. Basically, people can go there and create their subreddit, and I don't use it because it's so convoluted and dumb, really, the way it's structured. But then there are admins that run the site and impose global rules. It's sort of like how ICQ used to have like web chats and stuff like that. You could start your own private room, but ultimately, if anyone was using it all, the admins would come in and bot it and usually overrule the people that created the room in the first place. They would essentially nationalize the chat room. It was very funny. I remember there were people very pissed at that, especially religious individuals from earlier on than I was there. And so apparently at the site-wide level, they're no longer allowing Bitchute links. Now, again, considering the fact that a vast plurality of the largest users on Bitchute haven't even been banned on YouTube, because basically a YouTube alternative, all things considered, the vast majority of those people haven't even been banned elsewhere and use it to mirror material. Like, I do Bitchute exclusives, none of which, by the way, would violate YouTube's TOS either if I put them there. I do it in order to promote the site and my work there. It's one of the reasons I'm the biggest user, because I'm making exclusive material. Others should try to do that too. Trust me, it pays off big time. You've got 26 million monthly users. You've got enormous numbers of video uploads now every day. You've got a huge number of accounts. At what point can you really justify this particular decision? The site is increasingly about mundane material. At first, maybe a year and a half ago or something, I would have agreed that most of the content on Bitchute was at least political and a lot of it was edgy. It was not just the conspiracy and white nationalist side of things, but also some of the more hardened CivNat stuff, survivalism, prepping, things like that entered into the lexicon. You can find like ASMR and like knitting channels and gaming and stuff like that on Bitchute now as well. You've had people who, for no legitimate reason, have been banned off of YouTube during a pandemic which slows down any appeals process, who have gotten tired of the site because of its censorship, and they've been using Bitchute, but it's not all even political. And Reddit is doing this presumably to try to slow the site's growth down. It's sort of like when Epic gets its PayPal ability stripped away from it, the host of both Gab and Bitchute. This is an attempt, it's a monopolistic attempt by billionaires to safeguard their monopoly. That's basically what we're seeing here. Yes, Silicon Valley operates now as a vertical monopoly. A couple dozen sites, which are extremely large and totally interconnected, wash one another's hands to try to keep third-party competitors from growing. It's not working. Bitchute's still growing. Gab is still growing. Library/Odyssey is still growing. All of these sites. Minds is still growing as well. The amount of engagement, for instance, that I get on Bitchute is not particularly different from the amount of engagement as a ratio of the actual number of people watching me than I get on YouTube. The engagement level is quite similar and quite good. Now, I would argue it's also rising faster. Bitchute has managed to stay afloat and even at this point innovate. It has its own native commenting system. It improved its search. Bitslide is a thing. and the site has gotten generally better. But Reddit, of course, is extremely far left in general, has banned many subreddits that, you know, are not part of the progressive lexicon, and now has decided that a video hosting alternative site can't have links posted there. Now, I would think a better model to use would be, well, you know, if it's that particular edgy material, if you're posting like the Hitler speech, we'll go after it. Now, I wouldn't support that either, but that would be at least within the realm of logic, according to Reddit's, you know, general ethos and principles. So you're saying basically, like, if there's a knitting subreddit and someone tries to post a knitting video from Bitchute, they're not able to do that. Again, at what point, since Reddit is interconnected with these other big Silicon Valley firms, at what point are you seeing a potentially illegal vertical monopoly, which had to have been at least partially organized behind closed doors? I've been saying this for several years. When InfoWars, for example, when they first got banned virtually internet-wide, it was clear that there was a coordination between the Silicon Valley giants to wipe them out in as short a time as possible to prevent them from defending themselves. We see this all the time with users. When Malnu was targeted, his YouTube and Twitter were taken down within a very short time of one another. There was coordination. There was an attempt to coordinate the attack such that he could not respond as adequately on his behalf and defend himself. They've done this time and time again. With Lauren Southern, this is what happened. It's happened to many creators cross-platform. What Bitchute offers is a workaround to billionaire censorship. Now, 10 years ago, a site like Reddit would have cheered that on. It would have been congratulatory. It would have been considered to be a good thing. And the kind of censorship that you see on literally all of the big tech sites right now, even 5 or 6 years, never would have been tolerated by the user base. The user base would have cried bloody murder. Even leftists would have been pissed off. They would have been very upset. And there are increasingly, by the way, left-wing commentators on Bitchute too. They get kicked off of Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that too at this point. Because the whole goal is to bring only lamestream, dumbed-down content to the viewer base of these sites. That means that they're going to start kicking off progressive voices too. You think the breadliners are going to be there on YouTube in a couple years, considering some of the crazy shit that they say? Considering some of the outright, explicitly bigoted things that I hear come from their audience? I think that might be problematic. Google say, well, the sponsors, the people advertising with our company don't like this anymore. We're kicking you off. We're going to have more Hassan Piker takes. We're going to have more Zhang Zhuger. David Pakman is allowed. Maybe Jimmy Dore is not allowed. Who knows? Depends on how lamestream are. It depends on the money, essentially. So this move is not exactly a surprise. Reddit's this huge Silicon Valley firm, too. By the way, that there are alternatives to Reddit as well. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but isn't it Voat or something like that? Again, don't use that style of site. I use 4chan. I prefer that. Anonymous posting. I don't give a shit about karma or upvotes or any of that bullshit because it's pathetic, frankly. That's about all. Peace out.